that I get to see. I love this.
I love it.
Ooh. Hello. We got some people jumping in.
Hello,
right.
community. Welcome to Tuesday morning Tea Talks with Candy and Leslie. We are so happy to be here. Let
Hello,
us
Betty.
know if you're on, where you're watching from, and what you're sipping on this morning.
Cheers.
Cheers. Happy Tuesday. Happy last week of November and the last week of the theme When Life Gives You Lemons. Before we dive into a full recap of this month, this is our first month of Tea Talks. It's just been, Candy, can you say it's just been so beautifully overwhelming? Like
Amazing.
Just amazing. Why didn't we do this sooner? We can't wait for more months of these epic Tea Talks, collaborations, golden nuggets, and just being together in the future. So before we dive into a recap of this month, I want to ask you, those of you that said, yes, I'm in to 15 minutes of silence every day. I even raised my hand. Candy raised her hand. I want to hear, how has it been? Was it challenging? Was it easy? Did something come up? What did you discover? And so as we move through today's talk show, go ahead and let us know, yes, I took on the practice, and what was your takeaway? There are going to be more opportunities coming in the new year. Just overall, we have quite a few things coming up in many different facets. One being another opportunity to do a mentorship with me for a longer term where we're doing even more check-ins. So keep your eyes open for that. But for this 1 week period, I want to hear how it was for you.
Yes, definitely. Drop a comment below if you are watching. Let us know where in the world you're tuning in from and how has it been for you this last 15 days. I see Sierra. I see you jumping on. Oops, my light just came down. I see Betty. I see you on. Hello. And both of you ladies, I think, committed to the 15-day challenge. So let us know how that was for you. And I'll just share, for me, I mean, it's like become such a habit for me to commit to my daily practice nowadays. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm like tempted to just go and get my cacao or go and get my coffee. Like I'm so excited to start the day when I'm like, okay, no, reel it back in before you get up and just start doing things. You know, what is it that you want to create today? Like we are such powerful creators. You know, we really underestimate our ability to, you know, to really intend and live purposefully. And so for me, it was just amazing to just continue committing to that, and also to see how many women committed to it. And you guys were tagging Leslie and I in your posts and your shares, and we just love it so much. Sierra says it was incredible. This week has had me feeling so grounded and intentional. Love it. So amazing.
That just gave me full body chills, because as Candy said, you know, when we're talking about creation, and let's talk about even like, let's get into some physics for a second. When you're talking about creation of the entire universe, the entire galaxy, I mean, that's some pretty epic creation. That, like, energetically, like physics speaking, can only be generated from a still center. So at the very core of even Earth, the way it's rotating, is the hardest, densest, stillest, but also vibrating center. And so I love, Sierra, that you said, like, I feel so grounded. And imagine creating from that space, because from that still center, that's where we have clarity. That's where we're able to take the lemons, whatever's happening, the chaos, and find our peace and expand and move through life from that space. So I love hearing that.
Love that. So amazing. Betty says, yes, I did the practice. I added it to my morning flow and it made such a difference. I felt peace. I felt at peace and centered.
Yes.
Literally filled my cup before the kids woke up and gave to them. Amazing. The best thing you can do as a mama. So, so amazing. I love that. Thank you, Betty, for sharing.
Yeah, I
And
love that.
yeah, for those of you that jump on, let us know how your daily practice has been. We want to know. We're just doing a check-in. Leslie and I just kind of on the fly, like we didn't even mean to, but challenged you all to commit to this daily practice where you would ultimately, take on what we were giving you last week. And so that kind of brings me to, well, this episode today is all about really wrapping up what we've been talking about all month long, which is essentially what to do when life gives you lemons. And Leslie and I have talked from conversation to conversation on Tuesday Tea Talks Live with you. We've talked about how to navigate relationships when you're evolving as an individual. We've talked about how to turn obstacles into opportunities. And then, this last one, we talked about why you shouldn't ditch your daily practice when stuff hits the fan. And ultimately, that was so powerful for you guys to really come back to your center. And so today is going to be all about how do you take everything we've given you so far and really find peace within the chaos. And what I mean by that, when I share about peace within the chaos, we're right on time for the holidays with this message. We're literally this week is Thanksgiving. I know some of you are spending more time around your families. I know the energy is being, raised around much more chaotic than usual. And that's just the holiday season, and that's just how it's been. And so how can you take what we've given you and essentially make lemonade?
Yes.
Pun intended. Pun intended.
Pun definitely intended.
Definitely intended. So amazing. Do you and I would just be curious to know, like, so many of you have taken on the practices Leslie and I have shared, but I would just be curious to know, like, how many of you learn all these amazing practices and you start to evolve as an individual and you start to realize, okay, I'm going to respond versus react. I'm going to do my meditation. I'm going to practice. And then you get into a situation and you kind of maybe react, or maybe you're just in it and you're telling yourselves, how many of you do this? You're telling yourselves you should not be experiencing this. With all of the work that you've done and all of the practices you've taken on from Leslie and I that we've shared with you, and other places that you get practices from, how many of you get into those experiences and say, I shouldn't be here? You're making yourself wrong for it. I'm going to raise my hand and just say it right now. Like, I get into this, I'm like, why am I even dealing with this? I shouldn't even, this shouldn't even be in my energy field right now. Why is this even in my energy field? And it is so interesting how we get into those spaces, right? And we make ourselves wrong. I see some hand raisings, 100 emojis, guilty. Yes. I see you guys. Yes,
Guilty.
It's me. Guilty. Yes. We get into these spaces where, yes, we're evolved individuals. Yes, we're thinking differently. Yes, we're responding to things differently. And do you want to say it, Leslie, or do you want me to? We're still human. At the end of the day, we are still
Number
human.
one.
Number one. And we have got to give ourselves more grace and compassion for those experiences. So today we're going to talk about how to actually experience peace within the chaos.
Yes. Leslie. So first, so beautifully said. First, what I'm going to start with is something I heard years ago, and it's so true, and it will give us all a good laugh. And that is, you think you've had a spiritual awakening, you think you're woke, spend the holidays with your family. Now we can all get a little chuckle and oh my gosh, yes. I remember when I saw that meme the first time, I was like, that's me. And that's something that is probably one of the most common topics when it comes to personal development and growth once we've been in it a little while and we're starting to see how we're showing up differently. And maybe our family is not. And if anything, we only see the dysfunction bigger. We only see the patterns brighter. And that can cause a lot of separation. And I know I've spent a little bit of time on my own high horse with my family, and that served no one. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But most importantly, what we're going to talk about is, we talked about, all right, what do we do when life gives us lemons? We talked about that. We even gave you the tools and resources of how to make lemonade. So you now know how to make lemonade. But there's one last piece that I know very few people talk about. And it, to me, and in my work and in my life and in what I do, it's the most important part. What's the point of having yummy lemonade if you're not slowing down, you're not present enough to even flip and enjoy it? You have this lemonade, but you're constantly making yourself wrong when you do have a human moment, and or the holidays are so busy, we're wanting everything to be perfect, all the food has to be perfect. What about my partner? What about his family? What about my family? Oh my gosh, I don't want to be around my girl. Sit down and enjoy your lemonade straight up. I mean, I could literally end there, I think, and that would be enough, but we'll keep it rolling.
Let's expand on that too. Like, what do you mean when you say like enjoy your, like, so you brought in presence, like, you know, when, and so I guess I would, you know, ask you, Leslie, like, how can I sit here and enjoy my lemonade when all of this chaos is happening?
Yeah, totally. Well, and first and foremost, of course, always implementing the tools and resources, the different practices, also the meditations that we have given you. But then also for me is really, I had to look at when I wanted the table to be perfect, when I wanted the food to look a certain way, be a certain way, when I wanted all the little napkins and I needed to call my family and check it. I had to really look at where that was coming from. And of course, it came from a loving place of just wanting everything to be nice for everyone. But if I took it a little bit deeper than that, I was getting a lot of my own worth out of putting on this show that ultimately, if we're all honest with ourselves, we just want to spend time with our family and we just want to be connected. And there's been a lot of shoulds, supposed tos that have been added to the holidays that really, honestly, especially for us women, wind us up so tight that we don't even get to enjoy it. And that's really what I mean. Like, we're making this lemonade, but we don't even get to drink it because we're too busy running around. I was sharing with Candy when we were prepping for this tea talk. I remember this very vividly. My mom, she was the last person to sit down. And this wasn't just at Thanksgiving. This was every meal. She was the last person to sit down and she was the last person to eat. And if anyone needed anything, she'd be the first one to get up, grab the butter, come sit back down. She didn't have those boundaries, that communication to say, no, actually, I'm eating right now. Let's be together and enjoy it. She would just be like the first one up. And so as we move into the holidays, I know that even if it's on even more of an unconscious level, can bring up, I know even for me, you know, with memories, holiday memories, sometimes there's sad memories, sometimes there's happy memories, sometimes there's experiences that have happened that aren't exactly empowering, different chaos. We talk about peace in the chaos. There's been different chaotic moments at different family gatherings. And so oftentimes we don't mean to, but we enter the holiday season with this guard, like, oh my gosh, my family. And so we want you to really enjoy the lemonade that you have made this year. And so first and foremost, checking in with yourself of this pressure that is even there. I know everyone said guilty, me, you know, I'm really feeling like I'm so hard on myself. I want everything to be perfect. Where is that really coming from?
Yeah. Where is the perfectionism coming from?
Like, what are you getting out of? What do you gain out of everything being perfect? And what do you think you lose, or what do you lose in it not going the way that you have in your head? So really looking at, what do I gain and what am I losing here?
I love that. I was just on a group call the other day. This woman was sharing how, you know, her father, who had actually passed away, had always told her that, like, get it together, you know, always. And so she's experiencing around the holidays, she's experiencing this like desire to have it all together. And then she's got so much help from her family, but she will not lean into it because of this desire to have it all
Have it
together.
all
So
together.
yeah, and it's so important to check in, like, where is this, like, this idea of perfection? Brene Brown says, whenever perfectionism is driving you, shame is riding shotgun. So what is it that's really having you
Hey,
feel like,
hey, shame.
hey, shame, peace, like, hey, shame. And
Hi.
it's so interesting, like, you know, we don't even check in with those things when it's happening. All we're doing is focusing on making ourselves wrong instead of just saying, okay, well, why do I feel like I have to have this all together? Why do I feel like this has to be perfect? And
Mm,
so I love that you brought that up, Leslie, because it's just really like, I'm sure so many people deal with it over the holidays, especially when we're presenting ourselves to family. Maybe they've
yep.
been following you on social media.
Yep.
Maybe they've been keeping in touch with your mom. I don't know how, you know, however. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, how are you? And then like, they're asking, and you feel like you can't be a human. You feel
Yep.
like
You're
you,
like, I know I used to be like, I can literally write like blog posts, videos for days, and I would be in front of my family as a transformed human and be like,
so interesting. And it's
definitely had those moments.
yeah, so what I heard from Leslie was just check in and like, what is it that's really driving you to feel like you have to have it all together versus just letting your guard down and just being the human that you are. Like, what
Mhm.
is it that's really driving that decision?
And asking yourself, what are you really committed to this Thanksgiving? Because
Yeah.
I know at the core, like we all, I mean, there's probably, I can do a few blanket statements of what we're all really committed to, and then look for yourself, what are you committed to this Thanksgiving? But I know that I just know you girls, we're all committed to love,
Mm-hmm.
connection, yummy
Mm-hmm.
food,
Yeah.
family, love. And
Mm-hmm.
so something else that Candy and I were talking about is, are you showing up as that?
Yep. Yep. That was
Are
the
you
next thing.
showing up as the love, the
Yep.
connection, the peace, the family that
Yeah.
you really want? Because I know for me, I mean, even the morning of getting in the car to drive to my family, my stomach's in knots, I'm restless, I'm anxious, most of it being very unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Driving there, entering the house on guard.
Mm.
If fear is present, so is anger, so is all the baggage, so is all the stuff, and definitely love is not present. So I've had to really get honest with myself over the years. This goes for partnership as well as with family. If I want the love and the connection and the acceptance,
Mm.
I gotta give it to myself. And usually, especially because usually it really comes down to, we want our family to accept the new person that we are. We want them
Mm.
to be as excited for our transformation as we are.
Mm.
But yet, are you sharing? Are you
Mm.
authentically sharing in these moments of Thanksgiving about your new life? Are you
Mm.
showing up as a pure vessel of love that you would with your clients, that you
Mm.
would with your friends, with Candy and I? Are you showing up that way? Because I know
Mm.
for me, showing up guarded got me a lot of defense, got me a lot of being on guard, got a lot of separation.
Mhm.
And so being clear on what you're committed to this Thanksgiving, how you want to experience this Thanksgiving, and then ultimately saying, all right, girl, you better put on your love britches. You better put on your peace britches. You better put on your connection britches, because you get to light the way for your family.
Mm. I love that. Like showing up as whatever it is that you desire to experience. Amazing. And one thing that Leslie said just now that I wrote it down in the comments too below. It's like, how can you just like stop expecting so much from your family and start taking
Yes.
responsibility from you? Like she mentioned being on her high horse. Like where are you judging everyone for not being a specific way, and where can you let that judgment go? Where can you let those like really unfair expectations for your family go and focus in
Totally.
on your responsibility to be in charge of your energy? And I think that's the biggest thing when we're evolving and when we're growing. We tell ourselves that, like, why aren't they? and it's
Why can't they
ultimately,
just
why can't they just, why are they like this? Why are they still in this
they just
space?
don't get it.
They just
They'll
don't get
never get
it.
it.
Why are they still doing the same old thing? And, Leslie and I, when we talk about this, it's like, just where can you just, first of all, like, that their journey is their journey. Like, you actually have no say over that. And then how can you take responsibility for your energy and show up as what it is you desire to create? Because ultimately, you judging them or you being on a spiritual high horse or whatever is reeling it back to what Leslie just said, your desire to connect with them, your desire to
Mhm.
love and
Mhm.
relationship with them. That's the only reason why you're so frustrated in the first place.
Mhm.
Reel
Yep.
it back to what is driving it. It's because you want to connect.
Yep.
Okay, can you connect without having that judgment? Can you connect with releasing those expectations and ultimately take responsibility for the way you show up? And
Totally.
then what Leslie just said, like, I heard what she's saying, like, show up, but then also, like, can we talk about boundaries? Like, boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the biggest, like, I've learned over the years, and this is, you guys, this is coming from, I've had family members, so grateful, the power of prayer and energy work, having family members come back to me. But in the last couple of years, I've had family members not speak to me. So this
Mm,
is very, I mean, I walk this daily. This is very much real for me. But I think the biggest piece is, yes, boundaries. But before we even go into boundaries, because, and I stand for boundaries, I implement boundaries and agreements in my own life. But one thing I will say, when we're implementing a boundary, there's
mhm,
some level of protection there, which is okay.
mm,
Sometimes there needs to be protection in certain circumstances, spaces, especially when things are new. But I think before even putting too much focus on boundaries, really wanting to hone in again and repeat this is like, what can you leave at the door? Because
mm,
even going in with a bunch of boundaries, or even, and sometimes it's necessary, and we will talk about that for a minute, but just because I don't see people leaving it at the door. And I know it's hard, I know it's challenging, but really having your focus be this Thanksgiving, and carry this into Christmas, New Year's, all of the holidays and all the holidays to come, is just literally focusing on yourself and how you are showing up. And I'll literally be like, how would I show up if this was a client? I wouldn't be
mm,
on a high horse. I would literally be looking at this soul with so much compassion and love for what they're experiencing. And I would approach them from that place. And for those of you that are coaches, healers, teachers, you know exactly what space I'm speaking about. And
mm,
I can
mhm,
almost guarantee you have not approached your family with those same eyes and that same heart. Try it.
mm,
Just try
mm,
it. And
mm,
just drink the freaking lemonade. If and when there's something that you really feel violated, you feel that something's been crossed. I was on the phone with my biological mother the other night, and I was listening to her share, and then after a while it really turned into just bad talking someone. And I don't do that in my personal relationships. I don't do that ever I don't do that in my life. So why am I going to accept that just because she's my biological mother? And so I said, hey, I just don't talk bad about people. I'm happy to hear you if you want to share, but I'm just not going to sit here and talk bad about someone when I don't know firsthand what the experience is. That was bold. I used to not be able to do that. That was a time where speaking up was needed. But I didn't approach the phone conversation like, oh my gosh, like, and I used to be like, what boundaries am I going to have to implement? And that's where my focus was. There's no connection in that. There's no love in that. There's no like looking at your clients, looking at your students' eyes and heart in that.
boom. I love that. So amazing. Um, I wanted to get to these comments here
Yes,
too,
please
down
do.
below.
Please do.
So we'll transition right here, asked and answered. So if you got something that you're working through and you want us to address it right here live, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. For those of you that are watching in, we want to contribute to you. We want to help you. This isn't all about just us preaching and teaching anything
Yep.
specifically. We want to actually interact with you all, who are watching on live right now. And even if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and drop a comment below. Let us know what you're experiencing. You can also email us now. Did you know you can email us?
Ooh.
You can
What
email us
what
at
what's our email?
It's Tuesday Tea Talks at gmail.com.
Heck yeah. Email us, guys.
Email us if you guys have something more personal that you want
Yes.
help with from Leslie and I personally, and you don't really want to drop it in the comments below. Ultimately, it's super helpful when you do that because then other people are experiencing probably what you're experiencing too. But if you have
Totally.
something more personal that you want to address with us, email us at tuesdayteatalks at gmail.com. And then, awesome. So let's get to this. Monique says, I had 30 people, and we're going to close out with a really bomb mic drop. Leslie shared it with me at the beginning, and I was like, whoa, that's going to be fire. So hang on for that. Hang on for that. All right. So Monique says, I had 30 people at my house on Saturday, and for the first time, I actually did enjoy the lemonade. Okay, go ahead.
Aww.
I did not stress out that the turkey wasn't done right at 2. I wasn't frantically running around because we didn't have rolls. I just enjoyed the company of my friends and family. And it was a beautiful moment of transformation for me. And that might be because, Monique, you're doing your warrior work and you've been watching Tuesday Tea Talks regularly. So I'm going to chalk it up to that, but definitely you're doing your warrior work.
Full body chills. I'm so happy for you, you guys. This is life. Like,
Yep.
This is living. Oh my gosh, I love that.
She says this event was the first time my friends and family have spent with me since I became a sound practitioner and had all these huge life-changing transformations. And I really wasn't sure how my friends and family were going to approach me. The support was so overwhelming. My friends asked me to play my instruments for them.
Yay!
And had so many questions about my experiences, and it warmed my heart. I showed up authentically, and they accepted me and loved me just the same. And that might be, Monique, because you are showing up in that love, in that support space. Like, you would show up that way for them, and you're allowing that. And can we talk about like allowing that support?
Yes.
And allowing that? Yeah, that's amazing.
I love this. I thank you for sharing that, because this is literally a living example, guys, of what we were just speaking to. She showed up in love, a transformed human. The turkey wasn't done. There was no rolls. And her family asked her to play her music, which I would guess at some point, Monique, at some point, you were like, what are they going to think? Like, they're not even going to care. They're not even going to want me to play for them. Are they going to think I'm weird? And they asked. And so really, Candy, you said the word allow. Something I've been saying a lot lately that I love is like, allow them to surprise you. Like, we have it so pre-planned. I know I was queen of this. So pre-planned in our heads how our family's going to be that it doesn't even matter if they try to show up differently. There's no way. It's already been pre-planned, staged, locked in our head, and that's what ends up happening. Because Monique showed up, she's like, I'm just here. I'm gonna be loved. I'm open. Let's just see. Not only did she have just much more peaceful experience through the cooking, through the Thanksgiving chaos that just is, she was able to really enjoy it and connect, like really be with her family and get to share herself, her light that she's stepped into with her family. And I know for a fact, Monique, you contributed to each and every one of them. And now, like, look at what was possible that wasn't possible before. I love that.
Oh, I love it so much. Yeah, we got cheers down below.
Oh, hello, Robin. I'm seeing Robin jumped on.
Yeah,
loving all my ladies.
Hello. Okay, so anybody else, if you guys want one more, we'll touch on one more of these asked and answered. If you want to drop something in the comments below, please do that now. Otherwise, Leslie has a mic drop moment. Oh, we're adding that in the segment. Mic drop moment. We're adding that to Tuesday Tea Talk.
Favorite moment.
We're gonna have a mic drop moment now at every end of Tuesday Tea Talks. Now you guys have to just keep watching.
You have to stay till the end, because why would you miss a mic drop moment?
Why would you miss a mic drop moment? Okay, awesome. So mic drop moment. Leslie pulled a card the other day from, if you guys, we love Oracle decks and all the things, all the fun things. This is one of our favorite decks called Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. Like, I feel like all of our tribe has this deck of their own. Like we all have our own personal individual deck. It's so funny because they're the same, but they're different because they're ours.
They have so much energy, so different.
Yeah. Yeah. And Leslie pulled this card out of this deck that she shared with me this morning, and she was like, it's right in tune with everything that we've been talking about, Candy. Like, legit, tell me this isn't our Tuesday Tea Talks monthly theme. And she read it to me. And so we thought, okay, why not share that on the show? Why wouldn't we want to share that on the show? So if you guys are down for this reading, drop some hearts, drop some comments, let us know you're into it. And Leslie, why don't you go ahead and share what that card was?
Yes. Can we also
do
mic drop moment and a bonus, since it's the last day of our last Tea Talk of November?
Yeah. And for those of you, I just want to say before we do this mic drop moment, because I know there's going to be a lot of like energy around it. There's going to be a whole new theme for December, you guys. There's going to be a whole new theme for December. We thought When Life Gives You Lemons was good, and we had so much to say around this topic. There's going to be a whole new theme for December. Should we tell them? No, let's not tell them.
No,
you guys tune in. You guys tune in December. We have a brand new theme for you, new conversations all month long. Still the same flow of the show. We'll still do live coaching with you. We're adding in mic drop moments, but make sure you tune into December. Okay, let's get to this mic drop moment.
Yeah, so mic drop moment, but very quickly, I want to do a bonus, and I won't share too much right now. And as we said, we have been so overwhelmed, just grateful with what has opened up in just 1 month of Tea Talks. Something that has also opened up, a few things have opened up, is a partnership with Gotcha Tea, and we will put their information in the comments after the show. But Gotcha Tea is going to be our partners for December, and I'm not going to share too much more now, but what I will share is expect tea, expect sipping opportunities, expect giveaways, and expect just really babes supporting babes. All of our partnerships are with female entrepreneurs who are doing the dang thing, who are conscious and totally down for these kinds of conversations. And I know I've personally had so much fun, even just being in conversation with a few of these boss babe tea company owners, because it's been so filling for me and they are so excited. So I couldn't be more excited. I know Candy's excited to be partnering and sharing these brands with you. So stay tuned. We are officially sponsored, and that means we aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So if you are excited, y'all, we're sponsored month 1. So let's do this thing. The universe wants this show to continue, and let's do the mic drop moment.
I love that. I'm just so excited, you guys. Like, I just can't hold it back. Like, this is so epic. Yeah, Leslie and I, we've been in touch with these, women-owned tea companies, and they're loving it. They're loving that we're having these conscious conversations. They want to support us, so they're going to give us some tea for our tea talks, and they're going to give you some tea for the tea talks. So you have to stick around. We might as well, Leslie and I basically just had a baby. We got the email, we have the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube Tuesday Tea Talks live, and we have the email now. Eventually we'll have other stuff, but for now, stay tuned right here on Facebook, right here on YouTube for the replays. Woohoo, we got people celebrating.
Yeah, and always tag us in your tea hauls, tag us in your tea preps, especially with these sponsorships. Really, let's show these tea companies love, you guys, because they are just like you and I. No matter if you're an entrepreneur or not, I know some, half and half, some listening are, some listening aren't, healers, teachers, but these tea companies blow me away because they have an actual product that they're constantly having to put themselves out there, and you guys get what that takes, even just to have a service that you're putting out there. And so I'm so inspired by these women, and I'm so excited to support them and sip on their freaking amazing tea. So we will, as a community, be showing love for these companies. So make sure you tag us so we can share and ultimately share these conscious conversations with more women who need them.
Yes, I love it. Amazing. I put Gotcha Tea in the comments below, their website. So if you guys want to put it in order, you can access it from the comments below. And then Leslie and I will have some really fun giveaways for the month of December. All right.
Yes.
Y'all ready for this mic drop moment? Are you guys
Yes.
ready for this mic drop moment? I want to like, all
I
right,
know we need a drum
give 'em the
roll.
mic.
We need some kind, we'll figure out some kind of music, you guys, for this moment. So from Work Your Life deck, as Candy said, this is a very powerful deck. And I picked this card, I was saying probably about 2 weeks ago. So like mid-November, totally when life gives you lemons. And it was one of the cards that I picked, the card that chose me. And I said, if this isn't November's Tea Talk theme, I don't know what is. Literally, this card is our theme. So I want to leave you with this message, and I really want you to carry this with you, carry it in your heart, hold it close to you throughout this week, in particularly as you enter Thanksgiving, cultivating a grateful heart for your journey. The ever unfolding rose.
Wait, can you show us?
Yeah.
Sorry. Wait, oh, do you have the card or no?
Yes, I do. I'm gonna have to pull it out. That's something I didn't pull out, but I will find it and I will show it, because these cards are beautiful. And in fact, you guys, for those of you that don't use Oracle decks, you know, a lot of you might not even know exactly what that is. I know I didn't for the longest time. In fact, the way I was raised is like, it's witchy magic, but I love using these cards for guidance, for confirmation, for me to really attune to my own intuition and confirm what I'm already onto. You are the smartest person in your life. And so utilizing tools like these cards, journaling prompts, ritual can really bring that confirmation that sometimes us women just need, that reassurance that like, yes, you are on the right path. And so here is the card. It's beautiful. The ever unfolding rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. The challenge of life is to keep your heart open when you most want to close it. To let life crack you open. To open through hurt and loss. To allow what is falling away to fall away. Being human is a courageous act. A life well lived, full of losses and tragedies, as much as triumphs and adventures, of course. Wherever you find yourself at this moment, life is coaxing you to keep your heart open. No matter how much it hurts, keep your heart open no matter how much it hurts. To continuously unfold, to let life crack you open. Perhaps you are going through a difficult time, lemons, right now. Instead of cursing the difficulty, see it as a blessing. To open yourself up to the truth that perhaps, as hard as it may be, life is happening for you, not to you. And one day, in the not too distant future, you may just bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open, because the world needs you open. The world needs you open. The world needs you open. Now is the time to go gently into this week with your family, into this week for Thanksgiving. Now is the time to go gently, to treat yourself like a tender, sweet baby, to wrap yourself in a blanket and trust that the mother has you cradled in her arms. The sea may not all be smooth sailing, but you are safe and you are held. One day, not too far from today, you will look back at this transformation and be blown away by the poetry of life. Everything is going to be okay. Let life crack you open.
Boom. Boom. All right, I see the comments coming in. Amazing. I was hoping you heard that. Oh yeah, amazing. I love that. So relatable right now. Holy crap. Wow, I love this. Amazing. I'm so glad you guys resonated with that, because when Leslie was reading it to me this morning, I was like, whoa, that's like what we've been talking about all month long. We're just like right in tune with these messages that ultimately source, God, the universe wants you to hear as you're navigating through life right now. So we're just so excited. I'm so excited to keep these conversations going. And then, yeah, what do you want to do? Do you want to share anything else, Leslie, before we close out?
The card said it all. If you want a screenshot of that card, I'd be happy to send it to you. This needs to be on repeat, you guys. Like, I have been rereading this card all month, and we've been talking about it in conversation, to really know that when we're in the thick of it, that when it seems like life is just handing us lemons and we're hurting, that to really see the grand adventure of it all. And that to know, just like you look back now at moments 2 years ago and are like, wow, what a beautiful ride. I am so grateful for those moments. You are going to be looking back at these moments with the same eyes and in the same light. So allow yourself to be cracked open. We need you open.
Amazing. I love that. We need you open. The world needs you open. All right, you guys, that is our episode of Tuesday Tea Talks. Hang on, I'm bringing in the outro. We'll see you next time. Join us next Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is. Join us next Tuesday. Tuesday Tea Talks live with Leslie and Candy. Make sure you follow the YouTube channel. Email us if you need some support on your journeys, and we'll catch you next week.
Happy
Bye, everyone.
Tuesday.
Woo woo. Cheers. We got to do that closing cheers.